What's up, everybody? My name's Ryan Beasley. This is Real Props, and I'm about to show you how to build an amortization schedule. All right, so what is an amortization schedule? An amortization schedule is technically just a complete table of your periodic loan payments over the life of the loan, showing how each payment is broken down into A, principal, the amount that actually goes to paying off your actual loan balance, and B, interest, which is the amount of money that goes towards paying the lender's profit. And then over the life of the schedule, it shows you how your loan balance is being paid down by the amount of principal that you contribute to the loan. So you get to see all this kind of breakdown over the course of the loan. And when you build it in Excel, you really get a good understanding of how it's calculated, what goes into it, why they're charging you that money, and why they charge that rate is also a really good question. A lot of people, want to see, want to understand why they're getting charged so much on their mortgage payment or on their loans that they get. And it's quite frankly, it comes down to risk. It's all a matter of economics. Talk to your mortgage lender about it if you're buying a house, or, talk to any lender about, the car loans or whatever it may be. So you can get a better understanding as to why you're paying that money. But today, we're going to figure out how to build that amortization schedule from the top. And I look forward to teaching y'all today. All right, y'all. So this is an overview of the amortization schedule from the start. So to start off, you'll need a mortgage calculator in the top. I call it a mortgage calculator. You won't need this section right here. Just ignore that. That's for something totally different. But however, we'll have to know how to build this in order to build the amortization schedule itself. So I'm gonna try to make this as simple and concise as possible. So right here we have the purchase price of the house. So let's say, and for the sake of this, we're going to do a residential home that you bought it for $100,000. Your lender requested that you did a 5% down payment. That's $5,000 down payment. That's a loan amount of $95,000. Your loan term is, let's just say the term that you chose was a regular 30-year, and that your interest rate was, let's say, 4.5%. So there's a lot more that goes into a mortgage loan. Like I said, definitely talk to your mortgage lender. There's a lot of things that can be rolled in, taken out, etc. But this is just for a ideal situation. So let's say that you bought this house for $100,000. It's 5% down. 5% of $100,000. You're going to make an equation for that. It says $100,000 times 5% equals $5,000. That's a $95,000 loan amount. That is a 30-year loan term, so you're paying it off over 30 years, and that's 4.5% interest on the loan for a total monthly payment of $481. So how did I build this monthly payment right here? How did I solve for payments? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these things that I have right here, these inputs, and I'm going to put PMT in Excel. I'm going to press Tab as soon as I see it. Let's do that again. Equals PMT. Oh, let me get it right. Boom, boom, boom. Tab. All right, so the rate. The rate is the interest rate. So the rate is right here, and we're going to press F4. If you have F4 on your computer, you might have to do Alt F4, but you press F4, and it's going to make sure that cell is absolute. Absolute means that it always references back to that cell. I really don't have time to explain why we do that, but just for the sake of this, video, copy what I'm doing, and then we are going to try to get a monthly payment. So, well, the rate is actually down here. Sorry, guys. Anyways, and then we're going to divide by 12 for that to get a monthly payment. Number of periods right here. We're going to pay this off over 30 years, 12 times a year. The present value is the loan amount that you got at the beginning. It's the amount of it now. And sorry, y'all. Forgot the F4 of that. Make all these absolute. You don't have to, and like I said, I'll explain that later on. At the end of this loan, the future value of this loan will be 0. So we're going to put in the future value 0. Press that, and then we got 41. You see how it's red? It's because it's showing a negative number. One way to fix that is to go up here to the top, click right there, put a negative sign, boom, 481.35. That's your payment. So here we go. We're going to do periods. We got our periods column right here that we're going to fill out, and I'm going to get 360 periods for 12 months over 30 years. I'm going to do that just because we're doing a 30-year loan. There you go. And all you have to do is click and drag. So if you put like 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, Excel already knows that. All you have to do is just take it and then just drag it. See how the number changes from 8 to 9 to 10 to 11 right here? Yep. And you just drag it. So the principal paid. So when I was talking about principal, this is what I meant. So we're going to do principal paid. The principal paid on this, how you calculate it, is just, it's going to be calculated by an equation or on here called PPMT. We're going to press tab as soon as we got it. The rate is the interest rate. We're always going to refer back to this interest rate, so make this cell absolute by pressing F4. Divide that by 12. The period and the number of periods, what's the difference between this is that the period is the current period and the number of periods is the total number of periods over the loan. Now, I will say that this does not work for this section. It does not work for this section. So because this period is 0. So before we do that, let's move to here. Let's move to 1. This is your first payment on the loan right here. So we're going to make that cell absolute. Do the current period is 1. We're not going to make that cell absolute because when we drag this down, we wanted to always reference to the cell right next to it. If we make this cell absolute like this, it's always going to think it's period number 1. Hopefully that explained it right there. So boom, we're just going to make that. Number of periods. The number of periods never changes. It's always 30 times 12, 360 payments. And present value is always going to be the present value of the loan. Always. And future value, I don't think we have to put that in for here, so let's just leave that out. Boom. So we got $125 right here. That's how much principal you're paying. Like I said, it comes out negative. We're going to make that positive. So here's your principal paid, and in period 0, you're not paying anything. So the loan balance is, $95,000. The equity is your down payment. The interest paid would be IPMT, tab. And then we're going to do the same thing. Make the rate absolute. It's the first period. Make that not absolute. This period is absolute because there will always be 360 payments. And granted, you can always change that. Like I said, talk to your mortgage lender. And then here's your present value. It will always be that. It will never change. And then close this in. And we got $356.25 goes towards interest. And then you're just going to click on the cell, press equal, go to this cell, plus this cell, and then your loan balance. Now, you can do loan balance 2 different ways. You can do it the more complicated way and do a future value calculation, like here, and do rate divided by 12, number of periods. We're going to select this one on this one, and we want it to drag down. The payment is going to be right here. Will always be the same. That's present value. And you see how it pays it down? You got to make that payment negative. So I will say you can do this by canceling that out. But that payment's got to be negative. And then your equity in the property is always going to be what you have left on the how much you purchased the house for minus the loan balance in this scenario. In reality, the value of the house fluctuates, so your equity fluctuates based off the value of the house, but we're not going to do that because that's complicated. So that's the one way to do the loan balance. That's the complicated way. The easy way is to just do the previous loan balance minus the principal paid. Same number. So we go back. Same number. Boom. That's the easiest way, and that's the way I recommend. They didn't teach me that way. They should have taught me that way. And then we're just going to do that. So if you saw what I did right there, what I did was I just wanted to drag these cells. Don't do all these cells, it'll get confused. Excel gets confused. So if you just click and drag on these cells and double click this thing right here. 1, 2. It'll automatically populate all the way down. If you do it for this one too, Double click. That's because I did B2 minus E12. Oh yeah, see, you always have to make that absolute. Look at that. And then let's do it again. I bet you it corrects it. Yep, there you go. And you see your equity always increasing, and then your loan balance always decreasing. You can click right here to widen the cell so you can see it. And this should go all the way down to 360 because it's 360 payments. So, well, let's see. There you go. And should have full equity. Yep, so this number should always be 100. Purchase price, this should always be 0, how much you have left on the loan. So this is ideal. Like I said, the value of the house fluctuates, your equity fluctuates. You can do bi-weekly payments. There's a lot of things you can set up with your lender, and things change based off that. But as you can see in the beginning, very little principal paid. Only $125 of this $481.35 goes to principal. Majority of it goes to interest paid. That's the lender's profit. And then over time, by the time of the end of the loan, you know, almost $400 of that goes to principal and $79 goes to lender's profit. And it's because of risk. You know, it's riskier in the beginning than in the end, I'd assume. And they just want to make sure they get their money. So, and that's just kind of how it's structured. And like I said, you can talk to your mortgage lender and everything. You know, they can explain to you everything. This is just a basic how to build an amortization schedule. So if you're in a class and you're trying to learn this for a test or something like that, or you're just a new real estate investor or new, you know, you're just interested in real estate and finance, this is a great way to start by building that mortgage calculator, building an amortization schedule. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Definitely reach out. Always feel free to reach out. I love answering questions. So thank y'all so much for tuning in today.